Good morning, Wilson. Today is December 11th, 2017. I am Connor Dooley, and I welcome you to Wilson Worldwide. Our first story this week comes from the country of Yemen, as last week former president of North Yemen and president of the new republic when the North and South were united in 1990, Mr. Ali Abdullah Salah, was killed during a rebel bombing attack early last week. Mr. Salah was said to have actually not been within his house, which was a target of the bomb strikes at the time of the bombing, but was shot dead by snipers shortly after the attack. The more interesting part about this whole situation is that the attacks were directed on him by his former allies in the Houthis. Until 2 weeks ago, Salah supporters in the Houthis were fighting alongside one another against current Yemen President Abdrabbu Mansour Hadi, but after a considerable amount of bloodshed, Salah was said to have tried to make peace with President Hadi. This, of course, has made the Houthis and even Salah supporters very angry at the former president, saying that he was staging a coup against an alliance he never believed in. So overnight, from Sunday into Monday, December 3rd to the 4th, the rebels-held city of Sana'a was rocked by bombs on Houthi positions. This is all on what we have for this story as of right now, so we will send you over to Alexis Caraban with some entertainment news.
Thanks, Connor. Hello, I'm Alexis Caraban with your arts and entertainment news. For 20 years, Lauer reigned as the global face of The Today Show and NBC, from the Olympics and the Great Pyramids to the Taj Mahal, from coast to coast with your morning cup of coffee. Now, it's hard to find the accused predator's likeliness anywhere on anything associated with the network that sent him packing last week. Lauer has just recently been accused of sexual assault. NBC had fired Matt Lauer after the network received a detailed complaint from a colleague about inappropriate sexual behavior, with reason to believe this may not have been an isolated incident. And in the wake of the announcement, several more allegations have been brought against the longtime anchor. The Today Show and social media's pages are now totally Lauer-free. A cute picture of Lauer smiling while holding a puppy has even been yanked from the site. According to business communications expert Karen Friedman, the immediate firing, publicly communicating, and not tolerating this kind of behavior shows us that as organizations, they are the ones who are sorry, ashamed, and embarrassed that this has happened under their watch. Cringeworthy clips of Lauer, such as a time where Lauer urges co-host Meredith Vieira to keep bending over, "It's a nice view," are still open to the public eye. As a result, a well-known and beloved American television journalist is officially out of the picture and won't be seen for a long time. Lauer is still trying to collect some of his reported $25 million salary for 2018, although the network is reportedly pushing against it. The 59-year-old was fired last Tuesday after his longtime employer promoter learned about charges of sexual impropriety against their respected hosts. That's all I have for you today, Wilson. I'm Alexis Caraban, and now we're going to take it back to the desk with Connor.
Thank you, Lexi, for that update. We now send you over to Cottrell with tech updates.
Last Monday, December 3rd, 2017, was Texan's 25th year anniversary. Still used today, the first text message was sent on December 3rd, 1992 by British engineer Neil Papworth to Richard Jarvis, with the message stating, "Merry Christmas." Neil Papworth used a PC to send this message, and Jarvis not replied because there was no phone texting back then, but nowadays, phone texting is all we use. How about that for a fun fact? Now back to Des Connor.
Thank you, Cottrell. Now for our next story. A recent study that was undergone to figure out where modern teenage priorities lie has some very interesting results. As of late last year, the numbers of how many driving permits and work permits have been found to be significantly lower than in previous years. For example, Saturday jobs, otherwise known as part-time jobs for minors, have become a rarity in the grand scheme of things. A very significant drop in working permits from the ages of 13 to 16 have been recorded, as only 40% of eligible children having them. Another statistic is that since 2012, the number of driving permits have gone down by a staggering 20%, from about 28,000 permits to about 22,000. These statistics have been attributed to the new attitudes of teenagers towards schooling. Seeing how these stats are coinciding with a huge increase in national grades, since kids are being told more than ever that you must have good grades to get a good job. A lot of the kids who were questioned about why they don't have permits for driving or working have said that school takes up all of their time and that they don't even have free time anymore. All of this is without putting into the fact after-school activities, social time, and even sleep schedules. And now we will send you over to Ethan Asiatico with some sports news.
Hello, my name is Ethan Asiatico with Sports News. It's week 13 in the NFL, getting closer to playoffs. For today, I am going to give you the records of the NFL teams in the AFC divisions and stat leaders in 3 categories: passing, rushing, and receiving. In the AFC East, we have the New England Patriots leading with a 10-2 record. Tom Brady has passed over 3,000 passing yards and 26 touchdowns. Deion Lewis has 112 carries for 590 yards with 3 touchdowns. And Brandon Cooks has 58 receptions for 886 yards receiving and 5 touchdowns. In the AFC West, the Kansas City Chiefs lead with a 6-6 record. Alex Smith has passed for over 3,000 passing yards and 23 passing touchdowns. Kareem Hunt has 193 carries for 930 yards and 4 touchdowns. And in the receiving corps, Travis Kelce has 66 receptions for 871 yards with 7 touchdowns. In the AFC North, the Pittsburgh Steelers lead with a record of 10 wins and only 2 losses. Ben Roethlisberger has passed for over 3,000 passing yards and 22 touchdowns. Le'Veon Bell has rushed for 1,000 yards and 5 touchdowns. And Antonio Brown has 86 receptions for over 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns. And finally, in the AFC South, we have the Tennessee Titans with an 8-4 record. Marcus Mariota has passed for over 2,000 passing yards and 10 touchdowns. Derrick Henry has 125 carries for 600 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns. And for receiving, Delanie Walker has 58 receptions for 670 yards and 2 touchdowns. That is all for today's segment. Make sure you tune in next week for sports news. I'm Ethan Asiatico, and back to Des O'Connor.
Thank you for that, Ethan. And now for our last story today. A mother of a 2-year-old and 6-month-old in Arizona has passed away just 2 days after being diagnosed with the flu. Her symptoms began on Sunday, and on Monday it became worse, so she went to the doctor's office where they simply sent her home with meds. The following day, her mom took her to the hospital and she was diagnosed with pneumonia, and from there her condition worsened, and she was placed on a ventilator from which she never recovered. Who knew something this fatal could happen so quick, all due to someone not getting a flu shot? Remember to get your flu shot, everyone, or this illness will sneak attack you. That's all we have for you today on Wilson Worldwide. For Lexi, Ethan, Cottrell, and myself, Connor Dooley, have a splendid week.